guys, so today I'm going to teach you how to go from this to this. So this is an everyday makeup tutorial. This is pretty much my go-to glam. Anytime I'm gonna put on some makeup and I know that I want it to turn out, this is pretty much what I do. So if you can hear my voice, I am sick at the moment. I do have a throat infection, which is not very fun, but I still wanted to get a YouTube video out. So without further ado, let's get into it. I've been blowing my nose so much, I'm surprised it literally hasn't fallen off. And it's super painful too. Regardless of whatever makeup I'm doing, I always like to start off with primer. So I really love a pore filling primer and then like an oil or a hydrating primer. I focus the pore filling primer on my areas of concern. So anywhere I have pores or anywhere I crease. So it is my cheeks, my nose, my lip, my smile lines, under my chin, and also between my brows. And then for the oil primer, I put that on the outer perimeter of my face and I don't touch anywhere I put the pore filler. Another must for me is color correction. So my face gets really red and I have pretty bad bags, so I like to use a green one to cover all of that redness on my face, and then a peach corrector to use underneath my eyes because of how pale I am. A peach works really nicely. And now my bags are gone, how lovely. Now onto my absolute favorite step, and that is eyebrows. Firstly, I always brush out my brows with a spoolie because they can be pretty unruly. I use a few different products depending on how I'm feeling, but lately my go-to product has been a brow powder. This one from Canmake is excellent. I basically wear from darkest to lightest, with the dark color being put at the end of my brow and then fading in. I even use the little brush it comes with because I find it works quite well. This gives a really natural look and my brows end up looking the same every time I do them because of how easy they are to do. Next, I conceal my brows. The brow powder can be a bit messy, so this helps to achieve a nice clean look. I go over the top and the bottom of the brow with the brush. Next, I use my beauty puff to blend the concealer around the brow, and then I look at another mirror further away from me on my desk and I see if I need to clean anything else up. I then just use a little concealer to blend the front of my brow. I then use a brow mascara to set my brow in place. This is one of my favorite ones and it slightly lightens your brow as well, which is nice. I seriously love doing my eyebrows like this. Now onto the base, and for my foundation I like something light. This BB cream is definitely not my color, but I make it work towards the end. I pump a little bit of this on a mixing palette and use this super thin brush to apply my foundation in a light layer. It's easier to do your makeup in lighter layers, that way you can add more if you feel like you need to, rather than adding too much initially. I then spray my beauty puff with some setting spray to dampen it a little and blend everything in. As I said, the color match is a little off, so let's just ignore that. Next, I go in with some concealer. I normally put a little under my eyes, I put some on the tip of my nose, my chin, forehead, and anywhere else I have some redness peeking through or like pimples or something. I let that sit for a little bit and then I go in with that same beauty puff and blend everything in. Next, I go in with this brightener concealer. It's in a pink shade and this honestly doesn't do too much for me because I'm literally the same shade as this, but I have it so I'm using it. I put this under my eyes, on the sides of my nose, and under my lip. The formula is incredibly matte, so you need to blend this out straight away, otherwise it will remove your makeup underneath. A little pro tip. Now onto some cream products and starting out with cream contour. I like to use this on a flat top foundation brush as I feel like it blends it out really nicely. I place the contour on the high points of my cheekbones. I have a long wide face, so if I put it lower it looks funky. I also put some on my jawline and my forehead. I also put some on my bottom lip. I feel like it gives a really pouty effect, and for my nose I put a little bit at the bottom and then I draw a straight line on both sides and blend it up into my brow bone. I then use my beauty puff to just go over and blend everything out. Now for cream blush, I use this with a brush and I place it directly above the contour on my cheeks. For me, I like everything just placed a little higher. I also put a little bit on my chin, on the bottom of my nose, and the bridge. If you ever find that you put on too much product, just use your little beauty puff to blend over everything. Now time to set all the creams. I go between loose and pressed, and currently I'm just using this loose powder. I like to apply this with a brush because I feel like you get a lighter set. Since I have dry skin, I have to be a bit careful about setting because sometimes it can be a little too dry for my skin. Wherever I place the concealer is where I will set lightly with powder. Now this contour palette has definitely seen better days, but this is the powdered contour. So basically these next steps are going to be reinforcing all those creams with powders. So for the powdered contour, just go over wherever I place the cream. Next is powdered blush, and this blush that I use has a little bit of a sparkle in it. I hate sparkly blush, but this one isn't too bad on the skin. It's not too sparkly. And now we have another sparkly blush. You would think with me saying I hate sparkly blush, me using two doesn't really make any sense, but anyways, this blush is so lovely. I use this to blend into the mid face and then to blend in all the other blush as well and reinforce the creams. I love doing beauty marks, so I pretty much have freckles all over my face. I just pick one under my right eye and just dot, and then I also just go over my little beauty mark on my cheek there. I'll be real with you guys, I still am a highlighter girl. The 2016 highlighter has never left me. I think because I have dry skin, adding highlighter just makes me look really dewy and shiny, and I absolutely love it. I prefer highlighters like this that are like pure white. Because I'm so pale, sometimes colored highlighters look a bit funky on my skin, so I prefer something really pale like this. And as always, if it gets a little too much, just use your beauty puff to blend over everything. Depending on what I'm doing or where I'm going, I use a few different setting sprays. I've just been using this one from Australis because I'm panning it, and then then I use this broken little fan on my desk to fan my face. And then the Morphe one's really good to get rid of that powdery look. And now the base is pretty much done, so we move on to eyes. Before I do any sort of eyeshadow, I need an eyeshadow primer. My eyelids are pretty oily and they are incredibly hooded, so this is an essential step for me. I just apply it with my fingers and then set it with a translucent shade, white, whatever really works, to be honest. Next I go in with this purple and this grey shade mixed together. This is just to build up a base. I just pop it through my crease and underneath my whole lower lash line. Now we're starting to create that dimension. I'm going in with this brown shade and I'm putting it on the outer corner of my top lid. Now I'm going in with some shades that I depotted from a few random eyeshadow palettes. This brown I'm using to really deepen that outer corner, and I also place some on the lower lash line, again focusing on the outer corner. I then go in with this black shade to add some real depth in there, again on the outer corner. And now for a bit of shimmer, I add these two shades together to create a little bit of a gradient. With my eyeshadow, I mainly focus everything on the top lid and the outer corner because of how hooded my eyes are. So doing my eyeshadow this way makes the eyeshadow actually visible, because when I actually open my eyes, you can't see the eyeshadow 95% of the time. And then I go back in and just touch up any spots where I feel like it needs it. Now onto liquid liner. I prefer a brown. Sometimes I do a black if I'm feeling crazy, but 95% of the time it's a brown. I've only been doing liquid liner this past like a year and a half, I would say, maybe a little longer, and I struggle so bad because my eyes are so hooded. It does that weird like droopy thing, so I'm always trying different ways to do my liner, but it just like never looks right. Like, I don't know, I struggle so hard. Oh my god. I don't line my whole lash line. I just do kind of like the outer corner connecting to the lash line a little bit. This is the part of me doing my eyeliner where I'm looking at the mirrors in front of me and I'm like, what is happening right now? I've learnt my lesson that if I add more, it just looks worse, so I'm just gonna leave it alone. Now I get a brown pencil and just line my lower lash line in the outer corner and then my inner corner a little bit. I feel like this helps make my eyes look a little bit bigger, so this is why I like doing this. I then get a white pencil. This has lasted me years and I think I'll literally be buried with this because it just can't seem to finish. I just line my lower lash line with this. Now we are getting into my extensive eye glitter tutorial. Firstly, I get this product, scrape off the excess because I took the stopper out. Worst mistake I've ever made. Now I get this and highlight my lower lash line. I do it at the start of my eye and then go about to the middle. This is kind of like aiguille style makeup, but without the aiguille or the sal. I don't like emphasize it with like a pencil or anything. I now set that product with my powdered highlighter, and then I also highlight the whole eye as well. And if you thought that was enough sparkle or glitter, you'd be wrong. I now go in with this other powdered product and I line my lower lash line where I put that previous cream and then my top lid. I use that powder as a base for my final glitter. I use this silicone glitter applicator. It's absolutely fabulous, and I pretty much put it exactly where I put that previous product. I literally love eye glitter. And now I'm a mascara girl. I absolutely love mascara. This is how I curl my lashes with my eyelash curler. I curl them up and I feel like it gives me a really nice curl and a really nice hold. Now time for the actual mascara. I load this up. Do not be shy with the mascara. I only put it on my top lashes because my eyes water so much, so I have a lot of smudging, but I found that if I just do it on the top lashes, it works pretty well. And now after all that, eyes are pretty much done. Now onto my absolute most crucial step, and that is mid-face blush. This is the one I'm using currently from Colourgram. I picked up another one. Wait for this. Here she is. Oh my god. The color is literally to die for, and ever since I started doing this step in my makeup has just elevated to a whole nother level. I apply this with a powder puff, preferably a clean one, but you know, what can we do? I just pretty much tap in and just apply it straight to the face. This is my first time using this color on my face, and it is literally to die for. I'm so happy I picked her up. Like, this is literally just giving cutie girl vibes. Like, oh my goodness. I always thought something was missing in my makeup and I could never figure out what it was, and it was literally mid-face blush. Now time for lips. I pretty much switch it up depending on however I'm feeling because the eyes are really simple. I can kind of do whatever I like for lips. It was my first time using this product over here and I was kind of nervous how I was going to look, but it actually ended up looking really, really nice. For pretty much every single makeup look, I use this nude lipstick here as a base to kind of just like even out my lips and also like slightly overline them without like actually overlining them. Next I go in with this pink shade to give me a little bit of dimension and to also create a gradient. And lastly, I love a glossy look, and this is one of my absolute favorite products for that, and the pink is to die for. So I just go over the top of that previous pink color. And now I take a step back and look at my makeup as a whole and then add some extra things where I feel like I need it. So today I feel like I needed more blush, and I think that was definitely the right move. Now the last thing that's left to do is to take my hair out and accessorize. So that is pretty much the end of the video. And here is the final glam. I am so happy with how this turned out. What's an essential part of your everyday makeup routine? Let me know down in the comments. If you enjoyed, like, subscribe, and all that good stuff, and I'll see you in the next one. Mwah.